My name is Ed Oberholtzer. I'm the resident priest here at the Joseph Priestley Zen community, and we're an affiliate of the Empty Moon Sangha. I used to listen to old blues records, though my vinyl collection has long since been divided among aspiring DJs. One of those singers and guitarists I particularly admired was a man named Blind Blake, and one of his songs began with lyrics that still speak to me. Numbers, numbers, just about to drive me wild. I took advantage of the IRS's allowance and only just finished up my taxes. These numbers, just about to drive me wild. Like many of us, I watched the case numbers each day of the virus continue to climb. Numbers, numbers. You would think that taking refuge in the Dharma would provide a respite from numbers, but even here, we, after all, count our breaths. Buddhism is filled with numbers. Not one, not two. The three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. The three poisons, greed, hate, and delusion. The four bodhisattva vows, the eightfold path. One could go on. I will go on to 108. Where does that come from? I have my own thoughts, but I'll leave them here. On to the numbers as great as the sands of the Ganges. On to time periods as vast as kalpas. My favorite example of, if you'll excuse the term, dharmic numerology, an example that tickles the former librarian in me, is a collection of short sutras simply entitled The Numeric Discourses of the Buddha, a collection that draws together talks about single things in the chapter on ones, talks on pairs in the chapter on twos, triplets in the chapter on three, and so on. Some of this I like to attribute to Buddhism's origins in India, a land that has blessed the world with so many extraordinary mathematicians. The country that gave us that most Zen-like of numbers, 0. The country that gave us those early Buddhists known as the Sarvastivadins, people who were responsible for all those lists in early Buddhism, and who, as foils for the author of the Heart Sutra, gave us that system which the sutra so quickly turns on its head. We recall the five skandhas, that Sarvastivadin model of the heaps that add up to our fiction of a self: form, sensation, perception, formation, and consciousness. And the Heart Sutra deals with them as, in emptiness, there is no form, no sensation, no perception, no mental reaction, no consciousness. It goes on, touching on the 6 sensory abodes: no eye, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. The 6 realms in which those 6 sense organs function: no color, no sound, smell, taste, touch, object of thought. And here, the brevity of the sutra takes hold, in the 6 consciousnesses that arise are abbreviated as no seeing, and so on to no thinking. The 12 links of dependent origination, again truncated for the sake of brevity. No ignorance, and so on to no ending of ignorance. And so on to no old age and death, and also no ending of old age and death. This circle of 12 steps is the wheel of samsara, the wheel from which we long to step. And on to the 4 noble truths: no suffering, cause of suffering, no cessation, no path, and finally, no wisdom and no attainment. All of this is empty. all of this, the heart and soul of the Dharma as taught by the early Buddhists, all is without self-existence. And no, we don't toss the Four Noble Truths on the ash heap of history. Form is, for just as form is emptiness, emptiness is form, so also there is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation and no path. And so also, then, there is suffering, cause of suffering, cessation, and a path. So many numbers negated, and thus, so many numbers. Numbers just about to drive me wild. 1.5 degrees, 3 treasures, 4 noble truths, 5 skandhas, 6 sense organs, 700 people dead from poverty each day, 400,000 people dead from COVID-19. All of these are empty. None can be ignored. I invite you to stand in their place, to be them, to be the 3 treasures. They and you are one and the same. You are Buddha. You are Dharma. You are Sangha. The skandhas, empty as they are, create this self, which in turn, empty as it is, still feels so real, still functions in this world of form and emptiness. That 1.5 degrees of global warming, it too is empty. It too has form, subtle and sometimes hard to find, though manifest in the fig tree that is putting out leaves in my backyard after a Pennsylvania winter. Those 700 people who die each day in our country from the effects of poverty, they too are empty. They stand, and believe me, they do stand, in intimacy with each of us. This intimacy, a gift of this heart of great perfect wisdom. They are we are they. Their deaths from a lack of health care are our deaths. Their hunger, ours. Their lack of justice, criminal, economic, environmental, is our lack of justice. We are the family put out on the street and the landlord putting them out there. We are George Floyd dying under the knee of a policeman. We are that knee. Those 400 deaths from COVID-19, they are our deaths. Just as the failures that led to so many dying, these are our failures. This intimacy called forth through emptiness, is our call to the greater Sangha, the Mahasangha of you and of me, and the family down the street, the birds sitting outside in the trees, that fig tree in our backyard, that virus, all empty, all full of potential, all boundless. Thank you.